Hello and welcome back to another Minecraft tutorial. I'm mostly Darklink, and today what I got for you guys is yet another cow farm. This is, if you've seen my first cow farm, the one from the beginning of the video, which I have since named the Cow Death Machine because it's over-engineered and it does bring our cows to their doom. I had a few requests for this, and so I decided to go ahead and get a tutorial done for it. As well as, not gonna lie, this is my fifth time recording this. Pretty much, for some reason, Audacity has been hating me, and it has not been wanting you guys to pretty much get this tutorial. But I have since done some troubleshooting, and it should be good now. So hopefully, we are actually able to get this tutorial out to you guys. But back to the farm itself. Pretty much this is your standard cow farm, just with it's a bit flashier. If you're looking for something simpler, I would recommend my other cow farm tutorial, which I'll put in the description down below. But if you want something flashy, maybe you just like watching cows go to their doom, then this is going to be the farm for you. So what you do is you hit this button, cows come up, start dancing around, come up, feed them, hit the button again. Babies are then shot out, and they are carried down here into this little water stream right here, where they then go around this bend and then up here. Hello. And then they are deposited over here. Now, once here, you just let them grow up to be adults, and then you come over here, you hit this button, lava flashes out, cooks our cows, and then they all die, except for the babies. If there's any left, drops are then collected and deposited into our chests here. And that's it. There's also a little slit right here just in case you want to go ahead get a sword. Maybe you have looting or you want the raw beef here, and you can just go ahead and slice up the cows right here. Although I would not recommend doing that if you have any babies in there because it does not discriminate. And baby murder is frowned upon. Don't do it. Anyways, yeah, that's pretty much it. It's not a whole lot of redstones. This is for the lava, and then over here, this is all we got for the dispenser here. So let's go ahead and show you guys how to make it. Now, first things first, we're gonna have to go gather up our materials. If you want to build this exact one, glass and all, so that way you can watch the cows, and which I suggest, because otherwise, what's the purpose of building this thing? Why not just build one of the smaller ones? Then you're going to need to get some glass. I don't have the exact amount here because it's going to vary a little bit. I will say you'll need between 3 and 4 stacks of glass just to be on the safe side. But if you have 3 or 4 stacks, you'll be fine. Same with other building materials right here. About 3 to 4 stacks of that, you'll be fine. And as far as the rest of the materials, you're going to need a sticky piston, a block of redstone, 2 buttons, 4 chests, a stair of any kind, which is going to be right there. So if this part of your build is going to be visible, make sure it's a stair that you have no problem showing off. 5 redstone dust, 3 redstone repeaters, 4 redstone torches, 2 hoppers, 6 signs, an oak fence, 2 dispensers, and then either packed ice or blue ice. Either one of these will work if you can afford it. If you can't afford it, then you can honestly just use your regular building block. As far as the amount, a stack will be fine. And then an iron trap door, 2 smooth stone slabs, not smooth stone specifically, but 2 slabs. Those are going to be right there. So I would pick something that matches your build. And then a lava bucket, 7 panes, or you can replace those with fences or stone walls, well, walls of any kind, not specifically stone. I choose panes because I'm showing it off. And then I'm going to recommend 3 water buckets here. One of them is going to go into our dispenser. These other 2 are to create a infinite water source, so that way we can fill in the water elsewhere. And then I also recommend getting about half a stack of kelp, and that is because this tube right here is going to need to be all source blocks, and it's just easier to make them source blocks with kelp. But once you have all of that, you are good to go, and then we can go ahead and begin. Now, first things first, what you're going to need to do is figure out where you want your ground level to be. This is going to be ground level. So if, say, you want it to be at your floor level and this is your floor level, what you're going to have to do is dig down. You're going to need a 9 by 12 by 7 foot hole, as well as 7 foot high from your floor. And that is just to kind of fit this whole thing in. If you're just going to build it up like I have here, then you don't really have to worry about that. But yes, if you are going to have that at, say, your ground level, you are going to have 7 blocks below it free. And I would just dig out 12 by 9 hole. Make things easier on yourself. Now, once you have done that, go ahead and come up. So say this is going to be our floor 3 from there. And if you're just building it exactly how I have, just 2 up will work. And we're going to make a 3 by 7 platform here. Make sure I can actually count because I'm not. 5, 6, 7. And this is going to be our initial platform where our cows are going to land. Now, again, if you don't have the ice, you can just go ahead and make this out of a building block. It's not going to make that much of a difference. Ice just makes things go faster. And then once you have that, we can go ahead and we're going to put a block right there. Take that block out. Temporary block, block there. Another block off the temporary block there. A block here. Another temporary block and a block there. And then one more like so. And then you're going to come out temporary like this. So you should now have this little configuration right here. And this is where our redstone lands are going to go. And we can actually, while we're here, just take care of the redstone back here. So get your torch, your dust, your repeater, and you can go ahead and get one of your dispensers. We're going to start dispenser up like so. So you want to make sure it's facing up. That's because that's how the water is going to get shot out. And then we're going to put a repeater there. Dust, dust, dust. A torch in the back here. And you actually need a torch right there. And you can just go ahead and fill that back in. And that's all the redstone right there. And once you have that done, we can go ahead and build the walls around our little area. Alright, so now if you're building exactly how I have it, what we're going to do is 2 glass blocks on the back here, and then temporary block, and we're just going to fill in both sides all the way, and you're actually going to come out so that way it meets up right here, leaving this 1 block gap. Actually, I don't know why I took out that corner because that's going to be filled in. And then just go ahead and seal this whole thing off. And once you've done that, we can go ahead and continue on to the next phase. Alright, so this next part is actually not that difficult. What you're going to need to do is get 2 buckets of water, come and put them in these corners here. And also, forgot to grab it, we're going to be using some of our signs right now. I'm going to put a sign right there, a sign right there, and then another one, temporary block right there. I'm going to have a block here. I recommend glass if we're doing the whole glass thing, and then a sign there. So you should have a gap here that is being taken up by the sign, and that is to allow our babies to shoot out but keep the adults in. And then once you've done that, then we have this central area all done. You can go ahead and put 2 glass blocks there, some right there, and then we're going to go ahead and go 5 out from this block right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 4 this way. So if you dug a hole, this should be your floor here. And once you've done that, you can go ahead and go up to around, like so, and then just leave a space there. That's actually where our stairs are going to be. For right now, just go ahead and put a solid block down because we're going to be building kelp off of this. And then once we get all the water sources in, we'll come in, take out this block, and put the stair in. And once you've got that all done, we can move on to the next part. Alright, so the next part here, we're actually going to go ahead and get the floor here taken care of. So we can go and put blocks in right there. Actually, yeah, you want to have this 4 high and then a block there. And then we're going to come up 1. And then we're going to fill this whole thing in with the exception of right over our dispenser, we're going to have a gap. So go ahead and get this whole thing filled in. And this is going to be our floor here. Alright, and one quick minor correction. Take that out. We want the glass block to be right there. Alright, next we're going to go ahead and we're going to put a ring around our whole platform here. And we're going to do that out of our building blocks. And this is going to give us our nice little platform, which we are going to have everything built off of. Once you have that ring done, we're going to put 2 high walls all around except for right here in the front. We're leaving this open, but we're going all the way around. So it should be a U, a 2 high U. So go ahead and get that all taken care of. Alright, now once you have the wall up, you should have something that looks a little bit like this. Now we're actually going to come take out some of the wall here. So go ahead, take those 4 blocks out and replace them with our chests. So that's where our storage is going to be. And then come over here. We could take out these 4 here because this is going to be where our tube is. Now, if you don't want to see what's going on the tube, you can go ahead and leave these as your building block. But I personally am going to want to see it. So go ahead, replace those with glass. And then we could go ahead, take our buttons, put one right there next to the chest, and one right there. Now that we have that done, all the buttons should be used. We're going to go ahead and just finish up the redstone back here. That way we no longer have to worry about it. So right behind the button, down 1, we're going to put a block with a piece of redstone on top of it. Underneath it, facing down, we're going to put a sticky piston like so, with a redstone block attached to it like so. And then that should be it for the redstone. So we could come in, put our water bucket in, hit the button, And we should have something like that, and then just make sure it retracts. Yep. So we are good to go. So now our little cow dancing station is taken care of, and now we just need to finish up the tube and the redstone for the lava. So let's go ahead and get that all done. Alright, so now we're on to our tube here. So we're going to need to get some signs, we're going to need our glass pans, and we're also going to need our water buckets. So we can actually go ahead, put our water back here, and it should flow all the way to here. And then if you want to make sure you got it correct, if that block is missing, the water should not flow out. Alright, and then we're actually going to put one of our signs there. Come up one more on each side, and we're going to have another sign right there. And then we're going to go ahead, cap off right here. Now, if you are in survival mode, I suggest having like right here open or something to give yourself kind of an access to this tube. It's going to make everything a lot easier on yourself. Now we're also going to go ahead and come around right here, and we're going to build up pretty much this whole spot right here. So coming up, you should have formation like so. If you're building survival, above these signs is where we're going to put our panes. So if you want to make things easier on yourself, put the panes in right here as you're building up, so you don't have to come in and fill them up later. So just do something, oops, kind of like this. So that way you're just ba-doop, 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 doop, and just keep going all the way up. And we should actually be using all of our panes. And because I didn't count, I need to double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. And just go. And I guess another way to make sure you did it right, our tube should at this point be 2 higher than our wall, so it should be 4 high from the floor. And then you should have something that looks a little bit like this. And then actually, we're going to go ahead and fill in right there, leaving this space open. And then we're going to take care of this area here where our cows are going to be deposited. So go ahead, get your hoppers, and trapdoor, and then your last dispenser here. And we're going to build off right here. That's going to be your 2 hoppers that are needed. I'm going to put another 2 hoppers right here just for look's sake, so that way looking at it from back here it looks uniform and nice and flush. You don't need to. You can put other blocks here if 4 hoppers is too rich for you at the moment. But I suggest 4 hoppers just because of looks. Anyways, back to the build. On top of this hopper right here, we're going to go ahead and put our trapdoor. And now we're actually going to come back to the front here, and we're going to build off of it like so. Actually, that corner is going to be missing. And then we're going to need our 2 slabs. We don't need our trapdoor anymore because that should be used. And then our slab should be like so. And then right off of this trapdoor, we're going to have a dispenser. Oops. Dispenser's not going to be there. My bad. We're going to have a regular block. And then on top of the regular block is going to be our dispenser. And then we can also go ahead, put a block there, and a block there. So now we should have our little drop zone for our cows. And actually, I have glass right here, so that way I can see and make like the cows make sure that when they're grown up. It's my little viewing hole. And then we can go ahead and cover up the top like so. And then back here, doesn't really matter if you use glass or a solid block. And I'm just going to use glass to make things a little bit simpler and easier. And then go ahead and, oops, fill it in there. Actually, just for uniform's sake, go ahead and do that. So you're not going to be able to see it from the front. You can, if you really wanted to, make this whole thing right here all glass. That way you can see everything. But that is up to you. So if you want to have something like that, so that way you can see everything, more power to you. Alright, and then we're going to come up one more, like so. And actually right here is where we're going to have our water. So it should be flowing over, and then right over our hole, we're going to put our sign. So that way no water is going into there. And then come down here. If I could spell kelp correctly, we're going to get our kelp and just build all the way up. So now that should all be source blocks. And then once you've done that, go ahead, get your stair. Make sure you don't deposit yourself into your hole there. Come back down, knock out the block, which will take out all the kelp, and put in your stair. So now the cows should be able to float over here, and then they'll swim on up and deposit themselves right in there. And the last thing, as far as the tube, go ahead and cap it off. And that's it for our tube. Now the very last thing we need to do is the redstone, which it's not that complicated, so let's go ahead and get that all taken care of. So first, we got to get our redstone. So we're going to need a torch, our dust, and the last of our repeaters, as well as I threw away my building block, and a building block. So right below our button there, we're going to have a block with a repeater, and then that is going to be going into a block like so, with a torch on top of it. And we're going to have another block right there, and actually I'm going to put a block there just to block the view. And then we're going to have a piece of dust there, a block on top of our torch. That way our dust is on. And then off the back of this block, we're going to have another torch, block there, and then a repeater on 4 ticks facing this way, going into a block right here. And that is it for the redstone. So you should have something like so. So you want to make sure this repeater is facing out, this repeater is facing in, and this one needs to be on 4 ticks. And the reason for it is this part of the redstone right here, this is what's going to be retracting our lava right there. So actually, let's go ahead and get our lava and put it into our dispenser. So go ahead, hit the button, make sure the lava is being dispensed out and back in. Now, as I said, this right here is what is affecting the lava going back in. So say you didn't put it on 4, you're going to have something weird like that. So if you're having that problem, check your repeater. Oops. Now I actually need to go ahead and break my repeater so I can get the lava to suck back in. There it goes. Alright, now we can put the repeater back in. Yeah, and if you have a problem where the lava has been dispensed out and you need to suck back in, you can break part of this redstone here to suck it back in and then repair it. But anyways, that is the farm. So the very last thing we need to do is get our cows. So go ahead, get your cows, and get them into the hole here. And because it's creative, babies are automatically going to shoot out. So we can actually watch that and make sure they go up. And then while we're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and get the wheat in our fence post. So yeah, there's the babies. And there they go. And then they should all be deposited right in there. Yep. All right. And there's the last one. Now we just have to wait for them to grow up, and then we could press the button and get our cooked beef and leather. Now, if you don't have enough cows in here, say you only have like 4 or so, you can actually go ahead. Oops. First, don't turn on the button before you put the fence in. You can go ahead, fence it off, get the cows up, and you can breed them up right here. As long as you don't hit this button again, the babies will stay in here for the most part. Occasionally, you'll have like 1 or 2 shoot out, but for the most part, they will stay in the water here, and they'll grow up. That way, you can get more cows in here, and you don't have to worry about trying to drag more in. Now, one thing I will say though is to say you get this to near cramming level or even at cramming level, when you come to breed, just breed a few, hit the button, let some babies go, and then hit it again, breed up some more. That way you don't have your cows cramming and dying in here. So that would just be counterproductive. And then the only other thing is, uh, just kind of explaining these panes right here. If you don't have the panes here and say you had solid blocks instead, what you'll find is sometimes your cows will just get stuck right in here and they'll never go up the tube. And then if you just have this whole thing blocked off, they'll just get stuck right here as well. So this is to make sure every single cow is able to get up into the water stream and get deposited. And it's just overcoming a few weird minor things that happen that I have found. But that is it. So that is the entire farm. Again, I am mostly Darklink. If you like this, please hit that like button. And if you want to see more tutorials by me, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. But until next time, see you guys.